Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Newsroom. I'm Maddie Paul, and behind me is Terry Peak Summit that you can see on our live cam on KELOLAND.com. Today on Inside the Newsroom, we're bringing you the trending stories of the KELOLAND area and bringing in our newsroom staff members to talk about those trending stories. To start off right away, some troubling news as we head into influenza season in KELOLAND. Doctors are growing concerned about a fast-spreading mutation being seen in other countries. And Tom Hansen actually took a look at what this means for the KELOLAND area and beyond in a recent story that aired yesterday. But Tom, why did you start the story looking at other countries before making it more localized here?
Because that's where it's starting, Maddie. We get a preview every year of what's headed our way. And it's not looking good, which is a bummer because, the flu comes every year. And we've been lucky. But, I think doctors are saying this is going to be a bad one.
That's not the news that we like to hear.
No.
But one thing I like to watch in your story was the journey that you took the viewers on, because we started across the country. Then we went to the doctor's office, spoke to a doctor. Then we went to the pharmacy, saw someone get their vaccine, and then talked to a pharmacist. It just made the story fun.
Yeah.
And was that kind of intentional? That
absolutely.
Journey?
Absolutely. Because that's what we're all up against, right? Is, we have to go in and get that flu shot. I've already gotten mine, by the way.
Did you get it yesterday?
No, I got it actually 2 weeks ago.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah. And it didn't hurt. Honestly, it didn't hurt at all.
Good.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. People get sick after.
You get someone good.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you heard from doctors or from the pharmacists in the story that you think our viewers should know?
Well, one of the things while I was putting this together is the flu season could be bad. It could be bad. Let's put it that way. But I didn't want to overdo it. You know what I mean? It's like there shouldn't be any panic in the streets. We all know how to handle the flu. You do those things to keep you safe. You wash your hands. Try and keep your hands away from your face. Get some good sleep. Eat well. Do all those things, and you can avoid the flu. And, of course, the big thing that everybody says is get your flu shot, because you get your flu shot, number one, it can help prevent the flu. And if you do get it, it can lower the severity. So
there we go. Well, Tom, we will all follow what you say. And everyone.
Dr. Tom.
Yeah, Dr. Tom over here. And everyone can watch Tom's story or read it for themselves if they go to KELOLAND.com. Just scan that QR code you see on your screen now, and it will take you to our homepage where you can find Tom's story. But still to come on Inside the Newsroom, one of our reporters checked in with the members of the state congressional delegation on where they stood before the voting on the release of the Epstein files. Stay tuned. Inside the Newsroom will come back right after the break. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. Both chambers of Congress have voted in favor of releasing the Epstein files. The Senate passed a motion that will move the bill to the president's desk once it enters the chamber. The legislation would require the Department of Justice to release its files related to Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender. Kelly Vogt checked in with the members of South Dakota's congressional delegation on where they stood before the votes.
South Dakota's lone congressman, Dusty Johnson, voted yes on releasing the Epstein files.
Jeffrey Epstein is a monster. He conducted unspeakable acts of evil, and I've been saying publicly for months that we need to release those files. It took some time for us to build the momentum we needed to get a big vote today.
Johnson says the bill isn't perfect, but nothing ever is.
There are some deficiencies. We would have liked an opportunity to make some good-natured improvements in the House. But I think the Senate is an even better opportunity for that.
In a statement to KELOLAND News before the vote, Senator Mike Round says he thinks the release of the Epstein files is a good idea, but that the right to privacy for victims must be considered. The statement goes on to say, I would support appropriate legislation authorizing the release of the files while protecting victims' privacy, end quote. The legislation does have some protections for victims. Lawmakers in the House voted 427-1 to pass the legislation.
I've been talking to my colleagues about releasing the Epstein files for kind of a long time. And I would say that every week that went by, we had a few more people come to understand that this issue is not going away.
And Kelly Vogt joins us now at the digital desk to talk more about creating this story, because this was a story where everything was changing in a moment. We didn't know when a vote would come through, if it would come through at all, even just starting from the House towards the Senate. So, Kelly, for you being assigned to this story yesterday, how did the angle of the story change during the entirety of the day?
Well, it moved faster than I thought it would. I knew that the House was scheduled to vote on it. I didn't know, or I didn't realize that the Senate would then act so quickly. So the late afternoon, right before news time, when everyone in the newsroom's kind of scrambling and putting last-minute touches on things, that's when this all started to unfold.
And during our midday show yesterday, we were able to use sound that we had gathered from the morning of Dusty Johnson speaking. And then I believe you were able to get a different interview with him in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, his team reached out to us and said he would be willing to talk to us at 4 o'clock, which was a few hours after the vote, I believe. So we connected with him and got that interview done. So, a few different interviews from Johnson yesterday.
And related to that, I'm just kind of curious from the perspective of from you, why use that newer sound that we would get from Johnson rather than just keeping what we get in the morning? Because we got it. So that would be good, right? No. Why did we get something else?
Well, anytime you're doing the news, you want the freshest, newest content. And we had that first interview with the congressman before the vote had happened. So, as the day goes on and as the vote got underway, it was a little outdated. He's still shared the same opinions in both interviews that he really wanted to see he really wants to see these files released. Mm-hmm. But it's just fresher and more current when you can talk to, a lawmaker after they voted on something.
And I believe in our tag in this story yesterday, too, we added that the Senate decided not to make any changes to the bill, even though Rounds had told us that he would like to see some changes. But again, I don't think that took, as you're saying, I don't think it took away from the story's point in showing that this is what some of our delegation members where they stood before the votes went out. So is there anything you kind of learned or took away after making a story like this?
Just reinforces your training that you always have to be ready for the news to change.
Absolutely.
You can't write your story at 11 in the morning and, call it good. Things are often going to change, and you have to be willing to adapt to the changes of the news cycle.
Well, great job, Kelly, and thank you for sharing all these details right here at the digital desk. And everyone stick around, because still to come on Inside the Newsroom, over 3,500 eighth graders gathered for Junior Achievement Inspire 2025. And one of our meteorologists was there teaching kids about being a TV weatherman. So find out more on Inside the Newsroom when we come back after the break. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. There's a group that helps students figure out potential career paths before they even hit high school. And that happened during yesterday's Junior Achievement Inspire 2025. Over 3,500 eighth graders from around the Sioux Falls area were there. And our KELOLAND media group was also there talking to students, including our own meteorologist, Brian Carstens, who is now here at the digital desk to tell us his fear of eighth graders. You could be honest, because I'll be honest.
Oh, they were joy. They really were. They came in. They had a lot of energy, though. There's a lot of energy in that room when they open those doors up, and here they come in. And my goodness, what a great program, though. First year, I've actually participated in the JA program there, and I was impressed with the setup, the variety of industries, the different occupation. You look at different, just a whole wide range of trades and career paths. And so we got to do our part. We got to be part of that yesterday.
And I know that you love teaching meteorology. I know that is like your shtick. So did you just feel in your element then with those kids?
Well, it was a good chance to bring up, and what we did is we brought out the weather, basically our remote version of our storm center, our Doppler radar technology, all the controls we use up in the studio. And so I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll just set up my camera. we'll pull that in. We'll do the green screen like we always do, but then we'll make it kind of fun. We'll do real-time live data, not anything old. We're gonna look at the weather right now and spark some conversation about what this looks like in real time. And so this is how I would approach my day. These are the things I would think about. We get good questions going, and I want them to think about that because there's a lot of things that, sometimes we take for granted too. The audience might not totally understand how we formulate things when it comes to the forecast. And so that was a really good behind-the-scenes opportunity to look at products and things that we never show people on a daily basis.
Because it was all for you, at least, talking about being a TV weatherman, not just meteorology, right?
Yeah, broadcasting kind of as a whole, but certainly the specifics on meteorology. I had at least 3 students that were very serious about meteorology. They were definitely like, this is what I want to do. Where do I go to school and how I plan? And so we talked about, okay, as long as we're talking about this, here are some things you need to do. Take lots of math. Do well in your math subjects. Do well in your science.
It's important.
But even for broadcasting, we write. We have speech. I mean, there's kind of, our trade gets a little bit into a lot of different areas. And so it was good to talk about that because they may not have realized that before, what it all entails.
So what were they most interested in when they came to check out the KELOLAND booth?
Well, the green screen for sure. They see that right away. That's front and center.
Been a no-brainer.
So some of them are very much like, hey, look at me. I can, point at this town or that town.
I'm on TV.
So we kind of run through that. I had a couple of students that would come through, and they just did that for fun. And then I would ask them, are you interested in meteorology? And then the answer would be, oh, no, I want to be a chef, or I want to be this, or, But it was fun to at least give them that exposure.
Yeah.
And that's part of the process. They'd visit one thing, then move on, and then maybe planting a seed or two, because maybe at that moment they didn't realize it, but maybe later on they'll look back and think, yeah, maybe I do want to do that, or just rethink things.
We'll start seeing the applications and reference Brian Karstens from JA. Well, was there anything that's still sticking with you after you were out at that JA event?
Well, I would say, the one thing and I thought this was really well set up. They've got, school after school coming in. I think they did a great job of exposing, all these kids to these different varied industries. It'd be great to continue, and I know JA, the programs that exist here, to go into the classrooms and, do those more one-on-one talks that they do. Those are great things. So perhaps we'll be following suit on some of that as well in the future, because I think more in-depth conversation is another step that helps them figure out, maybe this is right for me. You get that 5 to 10 minute exposure. That's great. And then, seeing the next step. But what a great program to have in Sioux Falls, and the amount of organization. I salute all the volunteers that take upon that job of coordinating all of this and getting, 3,600 students?
Yeah, it was a lot of kids.
In the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they had a lot of fun.
Well, our reporter Summer Rottershot was out there yesterday, and I know she did a story that was for our newscast, and she said that she tried to get you to talk on camera for her own story, but you were so locked in to teaching these kids.
I looked up and I saw Summer and our photographer, and I thought, oh yeah, they probably want to talk to me. And then I go back to the students, and then we were talking, and then I looked up again, and Summer was over, a little different place there, and then I thought, well, I'll bet she's probably wanting to interview me, but I was kind of, at that time, we were locked in and having a good, question answer session about different things. So I'm glad it worked out, and looking forward to it again next year.
In your element. I love it, Brian. Well, thank you for sharing your story here at the Digital Desk. And everyone, stick around. We have more on Inside the Newsroom when we come back after the break. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. Time to find out everything going on from the Digital Desk. I had a fun little surprise when I walked in this morning. Actually, 2 surprises. And I'm going to show you all these 2 surprises. Y'all. The first one was an email from Scott Munn saying, yes, yay. And this email said, you need to watch the morning show at this specific hour mark. And that's it. That's all he said.
Well, first I wanted you to see that first before I sent you something else.
Yes, that's true. So I clipped it. I clipped the part that he was talking about, but I haven't seen it in its entirety. I do know it's about squirrels. Let's watch it.
Sometimes the furry residents of Sioux Falls can use a helpful human hand. Our news director, Beth Jensen, captured this video from her yard.
She says her dog was chasing a rabbit in the backyard when it got stuck trying to squeeze through the fence. Beth says the rabbit was the size of a cat and started screaming after it got stuck. An animal control officer used some wire cutters to help get the animal out.
If you capture any pictures or video of the animals in your area, you can submit them to KELOLAND.com/YouShare.
I'm just glad the dog didn't get it after it was stuck.
Yeah, it looks like the rabbit got out
got free.
unharmed.
Oh, yeah, they look fine.
Just a little scared.
Yeah.
A lot
What are you about to
scared.
say?
Probably very scared. You know,
Oh, yeah, you haven't
all
seen
I'm
this.
saying is this is where it would help to have a crime-fighting squirrel.
Well, yeah, we'll put them on the case.
You know, I was thinking about that. And the closest thing I can come to was Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, yeah.
But he don't think he actually.
You ever
fight
heard
crime.
of Rocky and
I've
Bullwinkle?
heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. That's about the extent.
There's
It's
super,
a moose.
There's super chicken. Yeah, Bullwinkle's the moose.
Yes.
Rocky's the squirrel.
Okay.
But for some, I think I'm missing something too. I thought that there was another cartoon squirrel.
Another cartoon squirrel.
If you know, send me an
Put
email.
our minds to it.
Yeah, I know that there is
remember that line.
a super chicken. I think that was from a cartoon from the 60s. Perry would know that one.
Perry would, yeah.
Still watching.
Super
Yeah, we
chicken.
could have the squirrel go in, write the dog a ticket for.
Yeah, exactly. It could have chewed
Scaring
through
the
the
rabbit.
wire for the rabbit. You know what I'm saying?
Is this what you guys do in the
They would
morning?
have pliers
Oh, yeah.
of its own.
Yeah.
Or it just has its
Just mini
super
ones?
strength and it just,
it is a
tears
crime-fighting
the-
Join us
squirrel,
sometime.
so-
links apart.
Gladly.
It's a good idea.
Thank you.
We're on to something.
I know.
You're
I know.
on to something.
Thank you. We'll work on it in the commercial break.
Excellent. Temperatures today,
There you
real nice, 50, 60, starting with some cloud
temperatures.
cover.
That's so funny.
Sometimes you just have to get right back into what you're there to do.
Who'd you say? Rocky the squirrel?
Yeah.
I don't.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I thought like secret squirrel.
Secret squirrel.
Secret.
Secret.
Do you know
squirrel.
secret squirrel?
Yeah, I do. I'm surprised you do.
I watched that on like Boomerang by Cartoon Network or
Oh,
something
my-
like
oh,
that.
yeah.
And it
Yep.
would bring up Secret
Hanna-Barbera.
Squirrel, Yogi Bear, Smurfs.
Mhm.
What
That was
it?
part of that.
Yeah. I
was
could only
part of
think
that.
but I caught on to you saying, "Oh, just send me an email."
Yeah, if you know, send me an email to help jog my memory.
Because
here.
what you wanted to just know more about cartoon squirrels or fighting
Because
squirrels?
I know I was missing something.
a squirrel. You were missing a squirrel.
Like a crime-fighting squirrel, which is what Summer wanted, right?
Well, the second part of my first surprise then was you did get an email.
I did.
And someone sent you.
And these are a bunch
literally-
of snapshots, I think. They just did a quick search.
They literally searched cartoon squirrel characters as they're watching this, I assume, because it's at the same time that this was live over the air. You get Skippy Squirrel,
Yeah.
Scratty, Chip,
Now,
Spip.
is that Sally Acorn? And that's not the one from SpongeBob. What's the one from SpongeBob?
That's Sandy.
Sandy.
She's the karate.
Sally, Sandy.
Karate. They say karate.
So you probably watched SpongeBob more than I did.
Oh, I love that. That was my show growing
But
up.
can you go down that list?
Let's see. What's the next one? Yes, I can.
Yeah, just go ahead and bring it up.
Okay.
And then go down that
So we got.
meathead dog. Keep
They have an
going.
ant. They have Adam Ant.
Adamant.
That's not a squirrel.
No, but his partner, or they had a show together, I think, with Secret Squirrel.
Oh, there's Sandy Cheek. She's.
See, there's Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
Wait, I gotta look at Rocky. Oh, wait. Is this like Looney Tunes? No.
Slappy?
No. Rocky.
No, what is Rocky? Was that wasn't Hannah?
I know Scrat. It's from Ice Age.
We'll probably get another email telling us
Yeah,
everything else.
yeah. The person who sent
Sandy
this email,
Cheeks.
email Scott again to correct us.
Because I think Secret Squirrel was part of Adam Ant. I think they had a show together.
I thought Secret Squirrel. I watched Secret Squirrel as its own thing.
Yes, but it was
Oh, like Adam Ant was a part of it.
Adam Ant was not a part of his show. How can I explain it? For a half
do we
hour, they'd have a
explain
half hour show.
squirrels?
One would be Adam Ant, the other one would be something with Secret Squirrel.
Okay.
Okay, they weren't together.
Have to make this very clear on Inside
man.
the Newsroom.
We are having one good episode here, aren't we?
Well, that was my first surprise I came to this morning. My second surprise, I don't know if you know about this, Scott. But I woke up to this message by our dear friend Jody Staples, who was actually on the show yesterday.
Yep.
We were talking about archives, website history, some KELOLAND Plus stuff, and our fanware shop, Scott, has been updated.
It has.
Do you know about this?
No, I do not.
We now have KELOLAND Plus merch.
We do?
All new for people to get. Here's one of the things. Look at this. You get a little logo on there, a little Kelo Plus, and on the back,
Look
looks
at
like
that.
this. It's like
It's busting through the
breaking.
wall.
I was going to say, it's breaking boundaries. And what does it say? Your home for streaming.
Nice.
It is. KELOLAND Plus. There's actually a lot of options. There's like a bunch of T-shirts, some crew necks, some different hoodies and stuff. I want like a little zip up. I'm going to ask Jody for a little zip up.
You know what we need next? Are the sayings that we have. Festive flurries, delayed but not denied.
Stormnado?
Stormnado.
I think that one needs to come back.
That one
a
might
little
take
bit.
off. You just have a whole bunch of different graphics of both blizzards and tornadoes and all kinds of bad weather.
Well,
Just
everyone
ideas.
Should, everyone
Throwing
should
out
check
there.
this out.
Just
Yeah,
ideas.
I like it. Jody's watching.
You're moving that
so-
around too fast.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the good angle of it. But this is available for everyone. There's lots of sizes. I believe it comes from, right now I see that this one is small to 5XL. So clearly a lot of variety. There's lots of colors
And I
too.
was going to say, and different colors.
Yep, lots of colors too. It does do unisex, men's and women's wear. And then it's a bunch of hoodies, T-shirts right now. And I'm going to tell Jody to get more slogans in. But this is if you look up keloland.threadless.com, you'll be able to find all of our fanware. And it really is a lot of stuff. There's all the Captain
Nice.
11, just your home stuff. But now, KELOLAND Plus. Isn't that exciting, Scott? Come on.
There you go. So when do you start wearing that on the show?
Well, I'm going to buy it now. And then hopefully, whenever it's created and made, maybe I can be the first customer
You can.
right now. Everyone watch as I purchase this right now.
Now make sure it's a legitimate site.
I know, I got to make sure. All right, Scott, we're running out of time.
Okay, we're not going to get into that
No,
story, right?
That's everything.
Okay.
Thank you all for watching Inside the
Got
Newsroom
that in.
today. Until next time, have a great day, everyone. Do the wave, Scott.
I'll do the wave for you. There you go.